Welcome to the More Sales, Less Time Challenge. I'm Jill Konrath, author of the new book with that same title and a few others. I am so glad you've joined us. In the upcoming weeks, we're going to focus on simple strategies you can do to help you drive more revenue without working around the clock. Let me give you a little backstory as to why I'm here talking about this. Several years ago, I was ready to say screw it. I was so sick and tired of working all the time. I'd roll out of bed in the morning and within minutes, I'd be doing email triage. As soon as my official workday began, I'd be on the computer nonstop. I was in and out of email. I'd be on LinkedIn researching and communicating with prospects. I'd be preparing for meetings, working on proposals, writing my newsletter, and pulling together presentations for my clients. I pretty much ate lunch at my desk and worked straight through, figuring it was the only way I'd be able to get everything done. In the evening, I'd be constantly checking my devices. My cell phone was literally glued to my body. And even before bed, I'd do one last email check. Don't ask me why, because I never would have responded at 11 p.m. In short, I was exhausted. I was losing my oomph, and I also noticed that my thinking was deteriorating. Seriously, it was too hard to stay focused enough so I could come up with new approaches and better strategies. I know that sounds weird, but it was actually happening. To me, that's deadly in a business environment where we, as sellers, have become the primary differentiator. The only thing that made me feel better was that I wasn't alone. Everyone I talked to was overwhelmed. Misery does love company. In fact, shortly after my book, Snap Selling, came out, which is all about selling to crazy busy buyers, people have been coming up to me and saying, Jill, this book really helped me. It's working, but I'm crazy busy too. What do you have for me? Nothing, I'd always say. I feel exactly the same way. Till one day, I actually decided I was sick of it all. Something had to change. And that's when I threw myself into studying this overwhelm with a vengeance. I studied neuroscience to learn how our brain works. I immersed myself into cognitive science to find out how my way of working was impacting my thinking. I studied psychology, productivity, motivation, and more. What I learned amazed me. To sum it up, how I was working was actually the root cause of all my problems. How I was working. I'd always been reasonably productive, but over the course of the past few years, I developed bad habits that were actually working against me. And I also learned that all my best efforts to keep up with my ever-increasing workload were actually making things worse. Like I said, it was an eye-opener. I was working too darn hard. If you're human, which I suspect you are, you're probably doing the same thing. Imagine that. We're working too darn hard. So in the upcoming days, I'd like to take you on a journey of experimentation to help identify ways that you're working that are actually causing your overwhelm. My goal in this mini program is to wake you up to what's really possible. I'll be sharing insights from all those scientists who are so much smarter than me. And then I'm going to challenge you to try doing something different each day. A strategy that, if it became part of your regular way of working, would help you make more sales in less time. I hope you'll join me. This is going to be fun.